Boys and girls, you're watching if you're on YouTube and listening if you're on SoundCloud, Tumblr, or Stitcher Radio to Peter Talks Smackdown, your weekly dose of Smackdown insight, review, conversation, and laughter. Just tune on in to pjtwcentral.com where you can go through any and all that is Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. Whether it's Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, Peter's Raw Recap, Peter Talks Smackdown, The New Day, podcast, anything else, Faster Than the World, and several other things. But if you want to contact me on Twitter, Instagram, PJTW Central on Twitter. Follow that. I need more followers. I can always use more followers. You can go to Ellen Japanese. That is LINJAPANESE. And that's also Twitter. That's also the SoundCloud account. That's also Instagram. And also Snapchat, if you use that. And every once in a while, I just post some random shit. A lot of wrestling stuff, actually. And without further ado, let's get into SmackDown from Mohegan Sun. I guess I had to look up what the fuck that was, and that was in Connecticut, and they're in the Mohegan Sun Arena. And, yep, never heard of it. But apparently, being that it's in Connecticut, I imagine it's a place they go quite often, but not for Raw. Maybe for SmackDown and all the other tapings, like Superstars and Main Event or what have you. But anyway, this show starts off with, right now, the hottest guy in the company, Dean Ambrose. And he comes out and he basically tells what happens Monday night. He goes over the contract situation and how the authority wanted to get out of the contract because it was for them to agree with giving him the championship match at Payback. It was under duress. And he also talks about, well, in order to get out of it, they had to resort to plan B, and that plan B was getting arrested. He talks about getting arrested and him being down at the station and him trying to figure out how he was going to get out of the situation. One of the guards tell him that he has a phone call. One phone call, you want to make that phone call. So he calls Roman Reigns and he asks Roman Reigns to buy him some time because he did not want to miss out on the episode ending without him being able to sign the contract and not being in the main event against Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Elimination Chamber. So he's trying to buy time, and all of a sudden, while in jail, he sees the footage. I don't know, like, that's weird. He's in jail, but he sees the footage of the cameraman getting pushed by Rollins. Now, I don't know if he saw it in jail. I think he said he saw it, but apparently, for the fact that it was on WWE Network or WWE.com or on YouTube, WWE's YouTube page, maybe the cops saw it because that's what they do on their regular time. They just scour YouTube and just happen to come across Dean Ambrose setting up Ambrose, and they let him off. They basically cleared him of all charges. So he was wondering how he was going to get back. Apparently, the cops down at the precinct are a big fan of Dean Ambrose. He signs autographs and takes some pictures. And he gets a police escort back to the arena while driving the paddy wagon. And that's him in a nutshell explaining what happened. Now, it would have been nice, and this is the thing about Dean Ambrose that they always drop the ball with, because he's always in these sort of zany situations. Why not just do clips of him dealing with these zany situations? You know? Like these crazy... The only person that can get in these situations is Dean Ambrose. So just tape it. You know, you don't have to go over the top and overproduce it. Just like, say, take 5 minutes of filming him at the precinct and running into, you know, other guys, other, like, you know, criminals, and how he interacts with them, how he interacts with the cops, all that stuff, man. It would have made for fucking wrestling gold, but they never, ever do it. It's a damn shame, too, because I would greatly enjoy Dean Ambrose, the Dean Ambrose Chronicles, so to speak. But he basically talks about how he's going to win. You know, he signed a contract and how he's going to win the biggest prize in the industry, and that the age of Dean Ambrose will begin. The age of Dean Ambrose. And it's funny. I want to take him serious. His gimmick is just too mid-cardy. He's been the side hoe for the WWE while Daniel Bryan's been out. He's there again for an extended amount of time. I still believe that he's still the side hoe, and that until he changes his gimmick, get away from the lunatic fringe thing and him being in these zany sort of positions, he's never going to really amount to anything in the company. He's not going to win. I have him not winning the championship. I don't see him ever winning the championship with this gimmick. It's too... I mean, he can't even win the fucking Intercontinental belt. I don't know. It's sad. I'm not saying this talking shit. I'm just saying in general that, like, until the WWE has full confidence in this guy. And now, you know, the fact that he's in a WWE network exclusive event, it doesn't mean that they push the button with this guy. It's that they have time to fill in. It's a kind of a throwaway transition network special. It's not SummerSlam or WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble. When they give him the keys to the cars to those events, that's when the button has been pushed. That's when the green light has flashed, and we will see Dean Ambrose ascend. Not at Payback, not at Elimination Chamber. I'm sorry. I'm not buying into him even coming close to that. I even in my predictions, by the way, listen to Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. We did the review from Long Island, of the Long Island show, and then we also gave our predictions. And I predicted that actually Ambrose is not going to win this title. And my bold prediction is that Roman Reigns will interfere in something. The way he was all bromancing it up with him in the last couple of episodes, I just feel like he's going to interfere and possibly start a feud with him, only to go over. Roman Reigns only to go over on Dean Ambrose. Want to have faith, but it's kind of hard when dealing with the WWE. The first match is a tag team lumberjack match between Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the Lucha Dragons. Now, I guess this is all selling, well, apparently, because this is the go-home Smackdown show into the WWE Network exclusive Elimination Chamber. So, you got those two, and the people on the outside as the Lumberjacks are the other participants in the Elimination Chamber for the Tag Team Championships. You got Los Matadores, you got Primetime Players, you got the New Day, and then you got the Ascension. The match, if you like high, like not necessarily like spot fest, like big spot fest, but if you like high flying lucha style, and that's what's great about Cesaro and Kid. They can really adapt to anything, especially Kid, both of them. Honestly, they're in there, and it's basically a high fly fest. I mean, a lot of good spots. There was never a dull moment. Nobody cut off the ring. It was just action on action on action on action. A lot of ropes, a lot of rope jumping, a lot of just spots and tag team tandems. Like there's one spot where Cesaro has Sin Cara in the belly to back, and they basically Tyson Kidd has Sin Cara in the belly to back. Cesaro uppercuts. Tyson Kidd comes all the way back with it. Stuff like that. The Lumberjacks, on the other hand, aren't really they're not doing much of anything whenever someone leaves the ring. And out of all the people, like the New Day get a little bit of action. They could have some action. They just threw them back in the ring. The primetime players could have had a little action, but they just kept throwing them back in the ring. Even Los Matadores. It seems like out of the group was the Ascension, and that was at the very end when they just got landed on. I was thinking, everyone's so nice, and even Jerry the King Lawler's talking about it. It's like, dude, like, who actually gave the history of the Lumberjacks, the idea of the Lumberjack match. But he's commenting the whole time. It's like, man, these are very, like, generous lumberjacks, very ginger lumberjacks to the people that go outside the ring. So the match, to a point, there's a spot where Kid gets Kalisto in a sharpshooter, a very well-executed transition into a sharpshooter where, Kalisto's jumping all over the place, his legs in the air. He basically catches, steps through, and puts him in. He's grabbing for the ropes until Sin Cara interrupts. And then there's a little bit of chaos. Then that's the spot where everyone kind of flies over onto the Ascension. I was really hoping that the Ascension would have an opportunity to kind of dirty it up a little bit. Now, being that everyone else is like being so nice. But they just end up on the ground. And right around that time, Xavier Wood is on one side of the ring, and he distracts Tyson Kidd, which leads to Kalisto hitting the Selena del Sol on Kidd, resulting in the pin. And it seems that the Lucha Dragons has a lot of momentum going into the Elimination Chamber Tag Team Championship match. The 6-man, I thought it was 7, but it's 6. 6-man tag team champion, 6 tag team Elimination Chamber Championship match coming this Sunday. If you go back and check out my predictions on Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling episode 40 part 2, I need to check to see which episode this is. But anyway, I actually have the Ascension as the dark horse winning this. And maybe starting a feud with the New Day. But it seems the Lucha Dragons, the primetime players, they're all getting a little bit of shine over the past week and a half to the fact that they may end up with them. But my vote is on the Ascension. This was a really good match. If you haven't watched it and you haven't watched SmackDown, you're watching this, make sure you find this match. It's definitely worth your time. And then we find out that Kevin Owens is actually going to be on SmackDown talking in the ring about his upcoming match with John Cena. So stay tuned for that. There's one thing I wanted to comment on, I guess this Mohegan Sun Arena, say going back into the tag team match, that really good tag team lumberjack match. There's a reason why I may have never heard of it. Maybe because they don't go to it too often. Maybe it's in the B shows. Shows like SmackDown. Man, this crowd stinks. And, if you watch this show, they put their share of canned heat in there. Canned heat, canned noise. And for some reason, they're making it a little lackluster. I mean, sometimes the canned noise sort of mixes in with the noise that's already in the arena, but there's no noise in the arena whatsoever to go off. I think at one point, like 3 points, you get some New Day sucks chants, which is pretty cool because it seems that the New Day are really getting attention enough that even when there's 5 other tag teams, 2 in the ring, 3 on the outside, they're getting the attention with the New Day sucks chants. But man, this crowd, especially for such a great match. And then there's a backstage segment with Kane and Rollins talking about game planning again. They're game planning against their tag team rematch from Monday. You got Rollins and Kane versus Reigns and Ambrose, and they're like, oh man, we went through this last week, blah 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 blah. There's a little spot where Noble starts talking about his great aunt, some from West Virginia. You know, the little spots he gets when he gets to really talk his like thick Southern accent, and he has these silly, like almost like what Sheamus had like 2 years ago when he would like give these stories about like his weird family members back in Ireland. I guess that's what they've been doing with like Jamie Noble. Whenever there's like a backstage thing, and he has to come in with his little comic relief. The next match was R-Truth versus King Barrett. Not that long of a match, and R-Truth gets another victory over King Barrett. That's another loss for King Barrett, and that's 2 losses from that he got from R-Truth. I don't see him anywhere close to the Intercontinental Championship. I don't see him anywhere close to even using that King of the Ring that he poses any of some sort of significant threat to anybody because he keeps fucking losing. It's a shame. It's a real fucking shame. But R-Truth wins with the lie detector, and after that you have Sheamus come in and bro kick R-Truth, and then I guess every man for himself, he bro kicks King Barrett. They were alliance at one point against Neville, but when you're talking championships, every man for themselves, especially in a situation like the Elimination Chamber, or say the ladder match, or anything in that nature. But he bro kicks the living fuck out of King Barrett, and he walks away. Now, again, I'll be referring to my predictions. I do remember them quite fondly. And if you just want to hear both mine and Jake's, be sure to part 2, where we give our predictions to the Elimination Chamber. And for the IC Elimination Chamber match, I have Sheamus winning. And you go, why do you have Sheamus winning? It's like, well, who else is in it? Ryback, not Rusev anymore, and that comes later. I found out on Wednesday that Rusev has an injury and will not be competing in the Elimination Chamber IC match. I mean, you got R-Truth, you got Ryback, you got King Barrett, you got Sheamus, and a couple of other fucking ham and eggers. Like, who the fuck else is going to wear that belt? Seriously, even though R-Truth has, like, this win streak right now, he ain't going to win it. It don't matter. The only person that even matters in that whole thing is Sheamus. So, there you have it. I was looking forward to more of the ladder match at WrestleMania than this shit. This is like another, title in advance. And all they're lacking, I mean, I think Stardust isn't in this, but all they're really lacking is Daniel Bryan, who had to actually give up the fucking belt. And now it's in this this kind of throwaway Elimination Chambers match where everybody are just a bunch of fucking ham and eggers, except Sheamus. So obviously, he's going to win it. And I think, who the fuck Jake said? It doesn't even matter what Jake said. But, like, anyone who doesn't see Sheamus walking out with this fucking belt is a fucking idiot. That's all I'm going to say. And I guess when Daniel Bryan recovers months from now, and I see Sheamus just holding on to that belt for quite some time, and wait until Daniel Bryan recovers from whatever head injuries he has to basically get his revenge and win the title back. Maybe SummerSlam. Maybe. We'll see. Backstage segment with Lana and Renee Young. And this is probably one of the first times we get ultimately a segment with Lana backstage without Rusev, you know what I'm saying? The whole Rusev, them as a team. And if I was to grade this performance, it was a little shaky. Very shaky. She talks about basically what the interaction between her and Rusev on Monday, and then she's a little shaky with the Russian accent. And I think it's because she probably does better in more of an authoritative sort of voice than, say, a sympathetic victim. And she was sort of stumbling through her accent, through her words. And it's like, well, I hate that she's become this. You know, like she can still be strong, very cold, and deal with this situation with Rusev without being like, we gotta pity her. We don't want to pity Lana, really. We actually want to cheer her on, obviously, because we want Lana. But like, it seems they're positioning her to be a victim, and I think she used the word victim again in this promo backstage. Then she's asked by Young the relationship she has with Ziggler, and she addresses that they don't have a relationship. And Young emphasizes like, looks like you got more than just friendship going on there. And as they're about to go into that, Rusev shows up, and he just addresses the fact that like, where's your boy toy? Where's Ziggler? And he's not here because he's afraid, basically. And he's all like, whatever. To the point to where even Lana goes, you're not at all jealous? And he's like, nah, I'm not jealous at all. And, the fact that I'm about to I'm putting a beating on Ziggler is your fault. And that's it. Which leads to the match between Rusev and Ryback. And this is basically, being that this is again the SmackDown Go Home show, they were both in the IC Championship elimination match, the 7-man elimination match. But you take Rusev, before we go there, you take Rusev and you take Ryback. Both of those guys, this match in itself was a very physical match, a good match. If both were built properly. Now, over the past year and a half, Rusev has been built as like a fucking machine. And I've already addressed the fact that since he's moved on, been fed to Cena, now he's moved on, that I think his career is in jeopardy. Because, like, what else are you going to do with the guy? And then they're stripping him of Lana. They're trying to humanize the both of them. And it shouldn't be this fucking soon that they either do one or the other. Or any at all. You look at Ryback, and you look at a guy that would have deserved it push or made to look strong, give him some fucking wins at a pay-per-view. Hell, he lost at Payback against fucking Bray Wyatt. So you get two guys who are like in this fucking weird limbo that at their size, as these big brutes, they're wrestling on free television, and this should be, if both were built properly, this should be at least a SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series match. This could be, say, it built properly between the two of them. Maybe 2 years down the line, could be a WrestleMania match. But this is the problem with the WWE now, refusing to create big stars. You see what's happening to Barrett. They gave him the fucking King of the Ring, and all he's doing is losing to R-Truth. They refuse to make new stars. And again, I don't want to rant again about the whole triple threat, fatal four-way, now the Elimination Chamber shits, but it really is doing some severe damage to the stars. And maybe that's by WWE's fucking design, the fact that they don't want anyone bigger than the company, and them threaten to leave. They've got a history with that. Whether it's Stone Cold, whether it's the Ultimate Warrior, whether it's Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Alexa Bliss, Medusa, the list goes on. And I think, again, CM Punk was the final straw, and now no one's ever going to be big. I said this last week, and I'm sorry. We're going to get to WrestleMania again, and all these guys that are on the roster now are going to be on the outside looking in, while The Rock and Triple H and Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey and all these other people are going to be taking all of the big time spots. And they're going to be stuck in the fucking Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But to this match, this is the match that everyone's. Oh, I guess this leads to the injury of Ryback. And this, again, this is a good match. It's a shame it's on free TV. A shame that both of these guys aren't built up to be taken seriously. But it's a really good match. And there's a point where, during the match, Ryback is pretty much manhandling Rusev. And this is the first time we've seen someone manhandle Rusev as much. Even Cena didn't really manhandle Rusev like this. And then there was a point where it whipped to the ropes and he fucking tosses him outside the ring. And he lands. You see the landing. He lands so crazy on his ankle. And I was just like, there. As soon as I saw it go, there it goes. There's the injury. And like a fucking champ, Rusev keeps going to the point where after he gets the injury and his leg is shot, his ankle is shot, he's still able to hoist up fucking Ryback and just throws his ass over his back. And then, later on you see him limping and you see that the ankle is just really getting the best of him. Shit like this is like pretty amazing. This guy's supposed to be a heel. That situation is someone you cheer on, fighting through such pain. And the match ends with Ryback going after Rusev after a spot where his ankle kind of gives out. He goes outside. Maybe Ryback gets a hint. Maybe Ryback doesn't, but he goes outside. And I guess they play into the idea. Maybe he does. They go out and which results in a DQ because Rusev just repeatedly throws him into the pole outside that holds up the ring. And he throws him into the staircase. And at first I thought it was just going to be a no contest, maybe a count out. But Rusev loses. Well, Ryback gets the win, the DQ win. And we all know the reports. Rusev is out. He's out of the Elimination Chamber. I think he has a fractured ankle, maybe a broken ankle. But if I was to make one more comment about this, the way that he was heading is probably almost like Daniel Bryan. And I never wish injury on anyone, so don't take it that way. But the way that I was seeing Rusev being kind of like dead men walking has been saved, because if he's just taken off TV for a while and he comes back and there's a new storyline attached to him, maybe, just maybe, he has a chance. And maybe this is by design. Maybe the wrestling gods upstairs says, no Triple H, no fucking Vince McMahon, no Kevin Dunn, no Dusty Rhodes, and no P.S. Hayes. You're not going to do this to this kid. He's far more talented and far more resourceful and more valuable than you think that he is, to have him basically go out like a punk and lose his push and lose his momentum as someone who could actually be a star for the company. So maybe it's for the best. Very much like Daniel Bryan when he won the championship and being put in a program, a dumbass program with Kane and him running from Kane. He gets hurt. He gets yanked out of that storyline. And he came back to a better storyline. Same thing with even though he got hurt again, that sucks. But maybe this is what's up with Rusev. And I only hope nothing but best wishes that he actually gets better, come back stronger than ever, and maybe the storyline with the Lana and the Dolph Ziggler will be far past all of us. Far past all of us. All right. Paige versus Naomi. That's the next match. Why? I don't understand sometimes. So this is the big payoff of the feud of between Paige and Naomi, because Naomi attacks Paige after the Battle Royal in London. And I would only think that this feud in itself would be a little more epic. Maybe have more of a triumphant ending. Maybe having Naomi being like the big bad heel going over, or Paige being the returning babyface from an injury. Have it drag out. But no, they throw this on a shitty Smackdown. You got Naomi dressed up. I don't know the fuck she's dressed up. She's in this red shit. She looks like a clown. far removed from her braids and all black. And she's in the ring acting like a buffoon at first. And, you know, Naomi can wrestle, and she can get in there and do the thing. I mean, if you've been keeping up with Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, I've done nothing but sing her praises. But right now, the limited black heel diva, I'm just like, dude, you may as well just have Alicia Fox in there for this. Especially like if you're not going to pursue an angle with Paige and Naomi. Alone. Just alone. Not even dealing with the Divas title. Just fighting. Not even having this Divas triple threat for this pay-per-view. Maybe you need to have a Divas match. And you could have had a Divas match. And it could have ended in like no contest or DQ between Paige and Naomi. And then have basically finally the triple threat match or whatever, or have one go over as the number one contender for the belt against Nikki Bella. Fuck a triple threat. But nope. This match is happening here. It's happening now. Paige wins, not almost convincingly, but she wins after kicking Tamina in the face. Normally that results as a distraction, and whoever the valet or the person outside the ring with is kicked, the person that with normally gets the upper hand from the distraction. But this is not the case. She kicks Tamina, she goes over, and then she hits Naomi with the rampage, and then gets the 1, 2, 3, gets the count. And then that's it. That's the payoff. That's the revenge. Incroyable. Incredible. And as Paige is walking down the ramp, the Bellas come out, basically congratulates Naomi, and they hoist up the fucking belt. And again, this just goes to show. I mean, I see Nikki Bella from my predictions. Go back and check out Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, episode 40, part 2, the Elimination Chamber predictions. I predict that Nikki Bella will retain the belt. It looks like they had a good thing going with Naomi, but again, there is this ceiling that they're only going to have the superstars shine. It's a fucking shame for her to actually lay down and going into a title match. I was so excited about the whole Naomi thing, and they're fucking it up. I was excited about her and Tamina being a tag team. Tamina's ring rust is ridiculously apparent. It makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense. And now my expectations of this Divas match is all gone. Why do I care now? Why? Give me one reason why I should care. And just so, oh yeah, Nikki's just going to walk out the champ, right? Why do shit like this when they're sitting on a gold mine of an angle, and Tamina and Naomi, and they're just tossing it out. So when Elimination Chamber comes around on Sunday and they get to this match, I'll probably go use the bathroom. I'll probably fix up a fucking pita or something. I'll probably fix up a wrap, go get a ham sandwich, probably take a shit, maybe sit on my phone and look at fucking Snapchat. That's what I'm going to do during this match. Because where's the payoff? Why do I care? You know what? They know why I don't care. Because they made it that fucking way. Kevin Owens' Smackdown debut. And this is basically to build up the match between him and John Cena in the Elimination Chamber this Sunday on the WWE Network for $9.99. Well, no. It's actually free. It's not $9.99. It's free this month. So it's supposed to be kind of like an interview with Michael Cole. And Michael Cole's in the ring, and out steps Kevin Owens. And he's trying to talk to him about John Cena. He cuts, during the whole thing, almost every question that was not question, but everything that was said to Kevin Owens, he kind of cut him off. He cut off Cole to make statements. The first one was about Cena and his accolades. He cut him off. He starts talking about his experience, him being a wrestler for 15 years, and that he's traveled the world, so on and so forth. And then Cole tries to tell him about the accolades of Cena, and he's like, no, I know what he's done. 15-time world champion, this, that, and the other, but he also is like a million ways to suck. You know, you see what's happening here. He's coming off as a really tough guy. He's coming off as a real big, like, wrestling mark. There's one wrestling mark in the whole arena. They got him in the KO shirt. He's holding up the Fight Owens Fight shirt sign. But basically, we're still, to the casual wrestler, you're still, to a certain extent, clueless about who Kevin Owens is. And this is a good opportunity to really get to know him. They have a lot of work to go. From the previous podcast, Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, and my predictions, I have Cena winning via DQ because I think Owens is just going to be relentless. They have a good opportunity to make this guy into a very dangerous man. And the fact that he's on SmackDown, that he's been on Raw twice with the belt, now he's on SmackDown. You have and they're talking about Sami Zayn. They actually go to the clip of a clip of him in the Unstoppable match, basically powerbombing Zayn on the apron. And he talks about, you know, if I do this to my best friend, imagine what I do to Cena. Now again, one of the things that I want to see happen in the near future is the interaction of NXT and the main roster. These people that are coming over from NXT to the main roster in these appearances aren't necessarily debuts as much as they are, you know, pseudo parts of the roster. Say if, you know, Sami Zayn showing up, Kevin Owens showing up, Hideo Itami showing up, you know, fucking Finn Balor showing up, and then maybe having some guys from the main roster show up to NXT and sort of across brands. You know, you can send R-Truth down there, you know what I'm saying? You can send fucking Bray Wyatt down there. You can send Ryback down there, and I think it would be just fine. And to go to show that, like, you have not only Kevin Owens talking on SmackDown and making appearances, he's also talking about Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn has already made an appearance. So I hope that this is what's going to happen moving forward. Again, I have Kevin Owens losing to Cena via DQ and them extending this feud. I mean, it's too short of a feud. I think it's something special. You could actually build up a star. We know, like, I've been complaining about them building stars and not wanting to build stars. They have an opportunity to do it, but I'm pretty sure they'll screw it up. And maybe part of screwing that up is before he could even get off the ramp, before they could even have him make it up the ramp and go back to Gorilla, they hit fucking Dean Ambrose's music. Now, two things could have happened here. What happened was Dean Ambrose comes out, he doesn't even give Owens the time of day. He just walks right by him. They shoot Owen, and you can see those watching on YouTube with the abrupt stop. I apologize. I'm working with my phone with very limited space. I still got to get the job done. All right? So, as I was saying, as Kevin Owens is walking up the ramp and Ambrose pays him no attention, you can see him basically, like, drop his head, shake it on some, like, fuck my life shit. Now, anyone who watches SmackDown and is a fan of Kevin Owens, I would like to know how you feel about this. Was this something where it was like they were fucking with Kevin Owens? Like, the idea that, like, are they about to drop the ball and run him through the gauntlet of bullshit? I mean, they could have gave him the liberty just to walk out and just leave. But no. They had to send Ambrose out like, fuck you. Alright, so I don't see it as a burial or anything like that. It's a cause for concern. He's just showing up, and you're already treating him like he ain't shit to a certain degree. And I was wondering if y'all got the same impression. Up next is Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose versus Kane and Seth Rollins. All right. Main event time. And we get Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns versus Kane and Seth Rollins. And I'll be honest, I skipped that shit. I've already seen it. I've seen it before. It ain't nothing in that match that I ain't already seen. I skipped to the last 5 minutes, right? So apparently, the match ends at a DQ. J&J gets in the ring, involvement. And then all hell breaks loose, which results to basically everyone getting thrown out the ring. Dean Ambrose jumps out of the ring onto J&J and Kane. Kane calls out the New Day. And that's, I guess, the plan B for this situation, because even backstage the strategy was to soften Ambrose up for the match at Elimination Chamber. And obviously they had the match. It ends in DQ. They attack, overwhelm him with J&J, Reigns and Rollins. Rollins and Kane. And then he calls out the New Day. So that plan B must be plan black. Yeah, let's get plan black out here. And the New Day come out and they just start jacking on Ambrose and Rollins. Xavier Woods somehow gets into the ring, and he looks like he's about to celebrate for escaping all the carnage. And Dean Ambrose comes in, hits him with the dirty deeds. Kofi, who else comes in? I think, Big E Langston comes in. He gets met with a Superman punch. Kofi Kingston's coming off the top rope. He's met with a Superman punch. And then Roman Reigns meets Big E with a spear. And Jesus Christ. So I predicted they wouldn't retain the belt. I said it would go to Ascension, but we know for now that they're just not going to retain. Which results to a choke slam from Kane to Reigns, and then a pedigree onto Dean Ambrose by Seth Rollins. And that's how the show ends, with them on top. My prediction for the Elimination Chamber, I see Dean Ambrose losing to Seth Rollins with Roman Reigns' involvement. And we'll see what goes from here. I'm running on limited time right now. I have to jump my ass in the shower and prepare for my little DJ thing. That's what people do. Do you still DJ? I'm about to go DJ right now. So I got to shower up and get the hell on. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening if you're on SoundCloud. This Saturday, tomorrow, we got the WWE Live is coming to the Greensboro Coliseum. And that should be fun. I think they're going to, at all house shows, they got a championship match, and it's going to be between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. And there's going to basically be a preview of what we will expect from the Elimination Chamber WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. I'm planning to have a lot of fun. I'm planning to do a lot of screaming. I'm not going to be one of those marks. I'm just going to have a good time and cheer and boo who I feel see fit, and plugs, again, Ellen Japanese, LINJAPANESE, that's Twitter, that's the SoundCloud, that's Instagram, that's Snapchat, PJTW Central at Twitter, and PJTWCentral.com, where you can listen through a whole bunch of different ways. Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, if you have a Tumblr account, and YouTube, for those who are watching the video right now. go back and check out, again, the Prediction Show. Check out Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. We review Long Island. Check out last week's Peter Talks Smackdown. And, yeah, man, do all these things. Hit the subscribe button below. Like, share. Please share. We're doing our best over here. Just, if you're watching, just share it. I would love you so much. Comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. And yeah, hit that subscribe button and subscribe to all the other ways to listen to this. And without further ado, enjoy your weekend. There's the yeah, that's it. Oops, sorry, but that's it. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend.